Yo. Married to greatness. Now, in this video, I'll be speaking about why semen retention isn't really talked about publicly. And before we get into that, it would be good to know your thoughts. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment. If you're feeling the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, man. I'll be going in with the content. But let's get into it. So this will be a brief video, just a thought that came to my head now. Why isn't semen retention mainly spoken about amongst the masses in the public? Well, we need to remember that most people, i.e. the masses of people, are controlled by their emotions. So even if you look at the day-to-day behavior and activity of what people do, i.e. the amount of sugar that they eat, i.e. watching sites as guys, i.e. not really exercising, there's a lot of behaviors that we do or that people do that are mostly pertaining to just maximizing pleasure and minimizing pain. I say that to say a lot of people are predominantly controlled by their reptilian brain. Now, this is a problem. One, there'll be no real harmony because usually the reptilian brain usually corresponds to maximizing pleasure for thyself. It's not really ensuring that there's harmony amongst people. And then another key problem with that is if people are just trying to minimize pain, there's not too much morality going on. There's going to be a lot of selfishness that's happening. So there are a few problems with the aspect of people really being guided by their emotions. Now, another aspect why this is a problem and why the majority of people naturally act on their reptilian brain is that imagination is a very powerful tool. Now, for those that make music, art, or creative writing or any of the sort, imagination can damn near be the reality of people's lives. So, imagination mixed with your emotion is always going to be a problem. And that's where we see a lot of evil being done in the world. So overall, a lot of people operate in their reptilian brain mixed with a bit of imagination, and there's basically carnage. Now, even though this is bad for society, this is predominantly good for governments and corporations because one, you can keep people hooked. If we know how people act, i.e. they like to maximize their pleasure, minimize their pain, and they predominantly think like that, it's easy to then create products and keep people in line. So let's say, for example, cigarette companies can keep on making their money. This is big money. Any type of food that contains a high amount of white sugar, they can continue to make money. The government can instill fear amongst the people. They can keep on running, and obviously through taxes, taking away the money from the masses, ultimately they can still make money. So it's a very warped society that we live in. So the question you have to ask is what benefit is semen retention spoken about in the main media to the masses? There isn't really, because you have to remember that one of the key aspects of semen retention is the fact that there's an increased amount of discipline, increased amount of self-discipline, self-focus, and reuniting with that God self. So by essentially discarding that animal instinct, you are enabling people to spiritually grow. And of course, I live in London. Of course, in London or the Western world, this is not ideal. The Western world is very technology driven rather than spiritually driven, and it's really created in that type of way to ensure that the elites stay where they are and they keep on growing their fortune. Now, if a lot of people, understand their godlike ability, understand who they really are, rather than just being controlled by what they think that they like, their personalities and their experiences, rather than their made in the image of God, then significant change won't really happen. If they're still controlled by their emotions rather than controlled by their intellect, unfortunately, bad will be done, and these corporations and the government can still continue for their own personal gain. So essentially, semen retention is not really in the interest of these elites at all. And I'm pretty sure that they understand the practices and they understand the benefits. I'm pretty sure, because like I say, this is, and like we already know, this is an ancient practice. This is nothing new. But again, being in a very technology heavy society, we're not, especially in the Western world, there's no real connection to nature. There's no real connection to the spiritual side of self. So if that's going to be the case, if that's going to be the focus, unfortunately, the masses will never really appreciate the godlike ability that each and every single one of us have. And again, if we all appreciate that godlike ability and act upon it, then it is going to be a risk and a threat to the establishment. It just is what it is. But yeah, these were just some of my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're feeling this message, hit a like and then subscribe. I'll be going in with the content. Much love.